I'll use this knife. You don't want to cut. This is the bluntest knife I've seen in ages, okay? So you don't want to cut this with that because it won't do that. You just go down as far as the brain, and then you can finish it off with a pair of scissors so that your nerves remain intact. Okay, so I can take them in the exam, okay? So don't try to go all adventurous and try to cut that. You will not. This is the bluntest knife I have. So you take your lube. Normally I have small little beakers where I take aliquots of this thingy. So with your well, no, you will be by yourself because each one has got a brain. Oh, shit. You can just put lube in there like that, you know, and then you lube your knife on this side too. I want it to fall on my brain so that it loops that too. Oh, lordy, lordy. So you get your knife all lubed up. And then I usually like to put some lube on my brain, on my crack. Oh well, you know, I mean, you know. Whatever. Not that, okay? Definitely not that.
I just can't hold it anymore.
You guys get your brains out of the gut. Okay, so so that the lube kind of goes and cuts with it. Okay, my good friends, I gotta do this.
It's on camera, don't just on YouTube.
Don't do that. But it's true though. That's what I meant. Exactly what I was saying. It's just that your brain is in the gutter. That's why. So what you do, I want you to have your knife over there, and then I want you to make. Don't do this, guys. Don't do that. Okay. I want you to make one motion going back like that. Be as central as possible. Excuse me. So now you do that deal, okay, and then you just that's what I did. None of this. Can anybody guess what this is?
I can't see it.
It came from the ventricles.
The neuron.
It's in the ventricles, so it's gonna be choroid plexus. It's on the list too. Remember choroid plexus, what does the choroid plexus do? What does the choroid plexus do, guys?
It forms the cerebral spinal fluid.
It forms
The cerebral spinal
cerebrospinal
fluid.
fluid. Yes, my good friend. Excellent. So it probably came from here. Oh my God, do you see that? Do you see what I did to my thingy? To my pineal gland? This is part of the epithalamus, right? It's kind of to the top and to the posterior. But at least I saved it on this side. Oh my God, isn't this beautiful? Look at that. Okay, so the parts of the brain, my good friends. Oh, you can see some of this thingy here. Do you see it? The choroid plexus. So this would be the lateral ventricle. Okay, my good friends. Lateral ventricle, which is 1 and 2. Okay, and this is the corpus callosum. Corpus callosum, and this is the fornix, right there, down there, fornix. Okay, lateral ventricle. What is this? Ventricle. Third ventricle, yes. That's one in the diencephalon. Guess what this circular thing is? It starts with a T. Thalamus, yeah. Isn't that nice? So if I put a pin right in the middle of the circle, you're going to be saying thalamus, and then you just be happy and go to the next question. Okay? And this is the pineal body or pineal gland, the one that produces melatonin. Okay? And this is the posterior commissure. Okay, posterior commissure, this line. And then this squiggles here is the part of the midbrain which forms the superior collicular here, one on each side, and then the inferior collicular down here, one on each side. And then we call this the corpora quadragemina. Remember what I said in the lab? Honestly, guys, I have to blow my nose right now, okay? Because I can't keep doing that. I still like it. Okay, my good friends. So, what is this ventricle right here? The fourth. The left and the right hemisphere contains 1 and 2. So this one will be the left side will be 1 and the right side will be 2. And then remember I said there's a thin film of tissue that separates the lateral ventricles. And this is septum pellucidum. Okay. So in the exam, if I put a pin through here and I'm asking what is that thin film that separates the chambers of the brain, I won't say which, I'll just say chambers of the brain, that are fluid-filled chambers of the brain, then you say septum pellucidum. Okay. Then if I put a pin over here and I'm talking about what's that chamber of the brain, then you say lateral ventricle. You see, I'll be descriptive in what I'm asking because sometimes it's the same spot that you have to put a pin in. Okay. That's about that. But for the rest of the nuclei of the brain, well, this is the thalamus. So guess what this is?
Hypothalamus.
Hypothalamus, because it's under the thalamus. That's why the pineal gland is up here with the epithalamus. You see how it's posterior and to the top of the thalamus. So this is the part of the epithalamus, and it was in the exam. For which exam was that? Meeting 1, where I said I asked about the epithalamus. Yeah, and this is one part of it, the pineal gland and the adrenal nuclei. Okay. This is the anterior colliculus, right here. Anterior colliculus, and this is the corpora quadragemina. It's made up of the 2 superior colliculi up here and the inferior colliculi down there. And we just talked about inferior colliculi today, right? And the superior we talked about it last time on the, was it Wednesday, when we were talking about sight. And this little nice groovy place that's smooth joins the 3rd ventricle to the 4th ventricle, and it is called the cerebral aqueduct. Okay? Cerebral aqueduct. And remember when we were talking about the midbrain and we're saying this periaqueductal cortex? This is what it is because it surrounds the cortex and it's part of the midbrain, right? Because the corpora quadragemina, which is the inferior colliculi and the superior colliculi. In the exam, I'll just want you, if I put a pin on this squiggle here, you just say corpora quadragemina. Okay? You don't have to say superior and inferior colliculi. If you do that, it's okay. I'm like, okay, yeah. Is it time? Oh my God! It's 2 minutes. Since I'm the one with the brain, and then I can clean up, so I'll go through the rest of the parts, and there's not many. The pituitary gland is down there, and over here is the. Oh my God! I'm just cutting the brain, and I'm gonna cut the deal. What do you think this is? This. The optic chiasm, okay? Where they cross, the optic nerve crosses. So there it is, right there. You see a circle when you do a cross section, okay? And then this is where the infundibulum would be located, and because the pituitary will be down there, okay? But it's always cut off, okay? Always. And this is the pons, and this is the cerebellar peduncles. You see, they're here. They connect the cerebrum to the. Do you see the abovitae? Do you see it?
God, I love that.
It's like a leaf. And then from here to there, what is this? Medulla oblongata. You understand? So there's not many nuclei here to learn, but yeah, that's what that is. And then this is the anterior commissure. See, there's a dot here that sometimes you see. Oh, there it is on this side. You can see it, bam, right there. Do you see this little dot here? You said it's a connector between it's a minor connector apart from the corpus callosum is the major connector of the cerebral hemispheres. Okay, then you have the anterior commissure, anterior commissure here, that's a dot, and then the posterior commissure here. This straight line that goes to the pineal body is the posterior commissure. Okay, and the anterior one is right here. There's a dot here and there's a dot there, right in front of the thalamus. Okay, those are the parts. Thank you, my good friends. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time.